Theresa, you've been having so much success racing your horses, so we want to get your backstory. How did you get into harness racing?
Well, it all started many, many years ago with my grandfather had harness horses with Lou Consolina, and did the riding horses for many years, and then he asked me to come work in the barn with these darn race horses, and at that time, we're talking way back in the late 80s, 90s, Joe Hunderfund, this was Freehold Raceway, this was in Jersey. Joe Hunderfund was driving for my grandfather, and he would drive my very first racehorse. And then one day, Joe asked me if I wanted to work for him over at the big Gateway Farms, and I went to work with Joe and stayed with Joe till 2001 when he moved down to Delaware, and then I moved out to Washington State and did something totally different for 20 years. And then worked in restaurants. I oversaw 24 quick serve restaurants. And I decided I was out there, I'd bought a house, and when COVID hit and I had just turned the big 6-0, I was like, I said, I think I'm ready to retire now, and put my house up for sale, sold everything in my 2-bedroom house except for what I could fit in my car, and just took to traveling and visiting, all things that I hadn't done for 20 years because I was involved with work, and made my way. I'd been in contact with Joe, and the Hunterfund family had always been like a second family to me, and we had remained in contact. And as I was making my way around the country, visiting in places and visiting people, I came to stay down here in Harrington, spent 2 weeks in the Holiday Inn, and by the end of those 2 weeks, I was headed north to go to, I think I was going to Maine, to the national park up there. And I had been going to the barn and every day, and was kind of getting a little too cozy in there again and missing the horses and the smell. And I said goodbye to everybody, his family, everybody in the barn. I loaded all my stuff up and I headed north, and I started crying. And I was in tears, and I was like, I don't want to leave here. I was just having, and so I called Julie and I said, I'm Julie Hunderfund, and I said, I think I'm coming back. And she says, well, don't go to the hotel, come stay with me. I have an extra bedroom. And I was like, all right. So I came back and never made it to that national park up north. That was 4 years ago. I ended up buying a house and going to the barn every day. And here I am now owning lots of horses. Yeah. so that's a real quick version.
Oh my goodness. Wow. That is, I wasn't expecting like a whole journey across all of the United States. No, I love it.
Yes.
Also, you hit the big 6-0 in 2020. Is that what you
Correct,
said?
yes.
All right. Later on, we got to talk about skincare because you look so good. Yes.
Thank
Oh
you.
my gosh.
Very good.
Yeah. So you're in the barn now,
Yes.
and you said you own lots of horses. You do own quite a few.
I have 6 now. I'm in partnership with Rich, and I had the one old horse that I had purchased that got me started back in it, Always the Sun. I just retired him, and he's now at a different boarding farm, and we're going to be breaking him to ride. Well, he's already been ridden, but he's gonna be my trail horse. So he's my forever pony.
You love the horses. You
Absolutely.
love going to the barn. And we've talked about this on the show before, and it really goes without saying. But the fact is, when you're working with any kind of livestock, this is like 7 days a week, crazy hours, and we don't care what the weather is. You got to be taking care of your animals. Why are you so attached? Why do you love the business so much?
I don't know. It's just the animals. I feel like while they're under my care, because I know there's things happen before and things happen after, and you have no control over. But while they're apart with me, I'm going to give them the best care as possible. And they're just, after working with people for 20 some years in the restaurant business, the horses are a dream to work with. So, because they don't talk back and they don't give you any guff, and they appreciate you a lot more than a lot of people. So.
Is there any like special horse? I know you mentioned Always a Son, who actually is an award winner, I believe a DSOA award winner. But maybe a horse that you got super attached with, or a really cool story.
So I have one. Okay, they're all like my favorites, but there was one that was one of the first ones when I started working for Joe. His name's ATS Hanover, and Rich owned him with another partner, and I've always taken care of him. He's spoiled rotten, and Joe shakes his head because he's just a spoiled rotten baby, but he deserves it. And when Rich and his partner, went their separate ways, Rich got the horse and he offered me to buy in, so I actually own part of him. So he's very special. And then one of the first racehorses that I was able to go partners with was Best Night Ever. And he's made his way up from non-winners of 3 to winners over open. So he's literally a dream horse. So those are my two, and they're both spoiled and rotten, but that's okay.
Well, do Joe and Rich realize how valuable you are in the barn? I hope that they tell you all the time.
Rich does. Rich tells me, and Joe as well. Joe's always been really good to me. The whole family's always treated me. I would not work for anybody else in the business besides Joe. Lots of wonderful people, but Joe's the best. And Rich is Rich. Everybody knows Rich, but he's a good partner to have, and so we're having fun.
I love that. Yeah, that's a great way to end this interview. We're having fun,
Absolutely,
right? Because
yes.
that's what it's all about.
It is. There's good, you got to enjoy the good times because, when you're winning, and then you could have a race where something goes wrong or the horse comes up a little, not feeling a little lame or whatnot, and, then you just got to ride through the bad times. So it's up and down, but it's that big circle. You just keep going around, so.
Well, we're so happy to see you so successful and having so much fun in the winter circle, and continued success. Thank you, Theresa.
I love Delaware.
Yes, go First State. We're first rate in the first state.
Absolutely. Thank you.